You're not lazy, you just don't think it'll work. And I will prove it to you. Let's say I sent you $1 million in the mail, right? You had the tracking number, you knew the check would go through, and all I asked was for you to get this money, you just have to work for 16 hours a day for the next month. Would you do it? Of course you would. Why? Because the payoff feels guaranteed. You wouldn't wake up one day and think, oh shit, like, I don't know if it's worth that $1 million. I don't know if I want to go to work today. The payoff's guaranteed. You're just doing that, okay? You don't have a discipline problem. You actually have a self-belief problem because discipline is really just a byproduct of self-belief. Let me explain. This is the self-belief cycle, okay? Let's use the $1 million thing, for example. If you really 100% believe you're going to get the $1 million, well, you're going to feel motivated every single day because you're getting $1 million. So you're going to do the actions. And then once you do the actions, let's say you're like halfway through, you're 2 weeks in, you're actually going to have even more self-belief. Oh, I'm halfway, I'm almost there. You're going to be even more excited. You're going to have even more motivation to keep taking the actions, keep stacking the evidence, right? It's this upward spiral. Discipline is really another word for just the right actions. It's doing the actions you know you should be doing. So you don't have a discipline problem or an action problem. You really have a self-belief problem, right? Because the brain is an energy conservation machine, okay? So it's designed to keep you alive, not to keep you happy or successful. Because in the past days, right, like thousands of years ago, if you're just like, I want to run a marathon for fun, I think it'd be really fulfilling. Well, you went and you ran 26 miles and you came back and you're just exhausted. Then a bear comes and invades your camp and everybody else runs away, but you're like, shit, I guess I shouldn't have run that marathon. I guess I'll let this bear eat me because I don't have any energy left, right? So your brain is always saving energy because that energy is literally what keeps you alive, either to hunt animals and put food in your mouth or to run from predators and stay alive and not get eaten, right? That energy is your brain's most valuable resource. So it's always keeping some in the tank just in case. So anything that's uncertain where the reward doesn't feel like a guarantee, your brain is like, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if it's worth it. Like if I told you there might be 10 grand in your backyard, you're like, okay, that's cool. Maybe I'll look some other day. But if I said, hey, I'm 1,000% sure there's 10 grand buried in your backyard, you would pause this video and go digging with your bare hands, right? Why? Because the reward feels guaranteed. When the reward feels guaranteed, right, you have the belief that you can accomplish it, you're going to feel motivated to do that. You're not going to be like, oh, but I worked all day, so I don't want to dig for the 10 grand, you know? No, you're suddenly going to have the motivation. This motivation gets freed up by your brain because it kept some in reserve until another guaranteed outcome came available. So essentially, everything you want in life, you can have if you believe you can have it, right? That goes deep. But essentially, when you think of a goal, right? It's like think of your biggest, loftiest goal. Your brain does this calculation of, is it worth the effort? And what truly makes that calculation work is, do I believe that I can achieve this thing, right? And if you believe that you can achieve it and it's worth it, you're just going to go for it. Otherwise, no, I'd rather save that effort so I don't get eaten by a bear, okay? So your whole goal should be to make goals feel inevitable. And the way you do that is get your self-belief to that level, okay? And there's a formula for that. It is past wins times current capabilities, okay? So think of it like old times. You're a caveman and you're looking at this cave, you know, it's real dark and scary. Well, if you've gone through 100 dark and scary caves before, past wins, you're like, all right, fuck it, I'll be fine on the 101st one. And if you've got the current capabilities, you're like, oh, I got this sharp ass spear and I know I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I'll be fine, I can handle myself. We're gonna go through it. If you've got both of those, if you've been through 100 caves already and you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu with a sharp as fuck blade, you're going to be fine. That guy's going to be fearless, right? So again, I can't stress this point enough. Your self-belief has to be at the level where the attainment of the goal is inevitable. Then your brain will naturally feel motivated for you to take the actions that get you toward the goal. When you take actions that get toward the goal, you stack more evidence that you're along the path. You're getting closer and closer and closer, which feeds into your self-belief again. This is an upward spiral. Your brain is not designed to make you successful. It is designed to keep you alive. Because think about it in the past, if you're with the tribe, right? Your brain's like, should I go wander off and running into the woods by myself for fun because it might be fulfilling? Or should I stay here with the tribe where we have food, water, and shelter? It's an obvious choice. Well, in today's day and age, it's just too easy to stay alive, but we're still running that same program, right? That's not going to be a fulfilling life. Your brain is literally wired to make you unhappy because it's trying to keep you alive. So what is the antidote here, guys? The antidote, and the easiest way, is you need to make the payoff feel guaranteed, okay? How do we make the payoff feel guaranteed? We make our self-belief at the same level. So it's like a lateral move, okay? And the way we do that is we stack past wins and we increase the current capabilities. So if you don't have past wins, get some now. I would say take out a piece of paper and think about your goal. Write down 10 of the things you've done that sell yourself on why you would be capable of achieving the next thing. Goggins calls this the cookie jar. Whenever he doubts himself, he takes a moment and he stops and thinks about all the badass shit he's ever done. He's thinking of his past wins, right? He's convincing his mind that the payoff is guaranteed because he's the guy for that. He's like, bro, I went into 10 million caves and I've been fine. So I would actually recommend starting a journal and every single day tracking your micro wins, right? 3 things you did that day that prove you're on the right path. 3 wins you had every single day. The second thing is sharpening the fuck out of your blade, current capabilities, okay? If you're this caveman with a spear, make that shit sharp. Okay, the way you do that, the way I'd recommend, is for 20 minutes a day, just study your craft. Okay, who do you know that does that? Probably nobody. That's close to 10 hours a month. You know how much farther ahead of everybody you know you'll be if you dedicated 10 hours a month just to sharpening your blade? Now imagine if you did both. Imagine if you write down all of your wins along the way and you sharpen your blade every single day. Well, this self-belief is going to go higher and higher and higher every single day. You're going to naturally feel more motivated to go take the actions because you know you're capable, right? You're going to be doing that shit. The more actions you take, the more capable you feel because evidence basically becomes your micro wins. And then just keeps feeding this loop. You just become more and more and more self-confident until you become like Kanye and you believe you can join the NBA. It's actually way better to be too confident than lacking confidence. And I speak from my own life experience, right? It's better to be a fucking idiot who believes in himself than to be a genius who doubts himself. Genuinely. I feel like head to head, the dumbass who's like, nah, bro, I can do this shit. Maybe he dies more often, but he succeeds more often too. So guys, you don't have a discipline problem. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a self-belief problem. Okay, so how do we get more self-belief? We build evidence. And how do we build evidence? We take the fucking action, even when we don't feel like it. So for real, whatever it is the fuck that you're trying to do after this video, go do something that gets you closer to that. Could be an inch closer, could be a foot closer, could be fucking, 10 feet closer. Just go do that shit every single day. You need your self-belief to match the level of difficulty of the goal. Then you'll naturally go for it just because you know the payoff's guaranteed. So guys, this was part 2 of the discipline series. If you enjoyed this, check out part 1 right here. And then if you made it all the way to the end of the video, you're a fucking real one. From my main channel to my second channel to my end of my second video on this channel, I appreciate you. And this stuff is made for you. So write in the comments what you want me to make next. I'll make you a custom video. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.